Hello. It's currently 4 a.m. right now, and I should be sleeping. But I kind of had an inkling of, this video idea, and I feel like if it's meant for you, it'll resonate. If not, move along. It's whatever. So this video kind of came to my idea of, surrounding this thought of the whole idea of when nobody believes in you, and sort of being alone and having to try and facilitate that belief in yourself, but it being really hard when you have no one there around you, or you feel like nobody's there for you. It can be a little bit different for everyone, I feel like. And essentially the idea is going to be kind of about backing yourself, how you have to back yourself, and being in that kind of energy. Stick with me. It's gonna be a little bit of a story time scenario. So I know it's a little bit cringe, but I personally love cringy, and I love anime. So it's gonna get a little bit into that territory. I always find myself in my life rewatching Naruto. I feel like most people know of Naruto or have watched the series a bunch too. Not everybody does, I get that. But it's a pretty popular series, with good reason, I feel like. It's one of my favorite animes. If you have never watched Naruto, though, you may not know any of the story driven behind it. But essentially, Naruto is this kid in the village that is looked down and hated on by everyone. And the reason essentially is because he has this demon fox thing inside of him that destroyed a lot of the village, and the demon fox got placed inside of him, so everybody in the village basically hates him as he gets older. Nothing to do with his personality, they just hate him. Treat him like shit, everyone's awful to him, having a real bad time. And then on top of everyone hating him, he's also a massive failure at everything he attempts or tries. He's really bad at all the ninja stuff, because this is a ninja story if you didn't know. Really bad at all the ninja stuff. He tries his best, but he's just terrible at it. Fails and fails and fails and fails and fails and fails and keeps failing and keeps failing. So not only does everyone hate him, but also they think he's just a complete idiot because he can't do anything right, essentially. But Naruto has a dream, and his dream is to be Hokage. Hokage being the leader of the entire village. The thing about Naruto is, over time, as he's getting older, and as he's, starting to learn about everyone hating him, and realizing how much hatred people have for him.
Why don't you just go away? Go away, you freak!
Without even knowing him, or even the people around him he does know, to a certain level and degree also hate him because of this thing that he doesn't really know about himself. And it leads to a lot of confusion in him growing up and feeling alone and also just ostracized for no reason. And yeah, there kind of is a reason behind it all, but he doesn't really know what that reason is. So he just ends up feeling very alone. I think what's interesting over time, what starts building up, is there's a couple of things that people start saying about him as he's training more and as he's growing and working towards his dream. He wants to be the leader of the village, right? But to be the leader of the village, you can't be a fuck up, essentially. So yeah, there's a couple of quotes that are said about him along the way of being after he's trained for a while or after he's done a lot, one of his teachers says that he, out of everyone, has grown the most.
Naruto.
Huh?
You've grown the most.
There's some points where he actually starts to process things quite quickly and learn a lot more quickly because he was kind of lacking a lot of the fundamentals, but then once he starts actually putting in the hard work and learning the fundamentals, he increases in his learning and his skill building, and not only his confidence but also his abilities start to get better because he's working on them. He's also having people in small ways starting to respect and look up to him. It's not a full thing all at once, it's over time gradually as he's working on things. At a certain part in the story, Naruto meets a character named Neji who essentially tells him that because he is sort of this idiot, this knucklehead, this fool, this weakling, that there's no way in hell that he will ever become Hokage because he just does not meet the cut. and the character kind of tells him, like, he can't force his way through it, or he can't just do it through hard work. You have to, like, be destined. Like, people who are powerful are just destined for the positions that they end up in. All the meanwhile, basically rounding up to Naruto, there's no way that he could possibly be destined for this position because he's weak, he's foolish, he's, like, all of these things. Essentially, like, a failure cannot become great. The more and more Naruto's, like, pushed on this, you can tell there's, like, anger throughout him throughout the whole time. He's just tired of being, like, underestimated all the time, tired of being hated, tired of being told he can't do anything just because of where his current position is. And I really like this kind of vibe within Naruto because you can kind of tell, like, he got tired of just, like, crying about everyone hating him, and he got tired of everyone telling him what he could do with his life. He got tired of being the victim in his own life and started kind of, like, picking himself up, even if, like, for the most part, he was the only one believing in himself. If you haven't seen the series, you probably learn or know Naruto does end up becoming Hokage way later on, obviously, through a lot of other stuff, way later in the series. And the way he ends up becoming that is through the very Demon Fox that he was hated for originally. Over time, he kind of builds up to learn to control the power of the Demon Fox, and then later on, he even learns to respect and start trusting the Demon Fox, and then he creates a relationship with it, and then, like, becomes the savior of the entire village, and then also the Hokage, where everyone started in the village saying, you'll never get there, you'll never become that, turned to everyone in the village saying, how did he do that? How did he grow so strong? So, I know this is only just like a show or a story or a book or whatever you want to call it, and it seems a little bit silly to get into the place of, like, taking this and relating it to real life things, just because, like, you know how usually the story just kind of goes in the main character's favor. That's sort of always the thing. I'm not saying, like, you have to, like, implement that entire thing into your life or just expect things to work out for you. I think it's quite the opposite. The story more talks about, like, working hard and willpower and showing, like, you can do things through willpower. If you believe in the reality, you can create the reality, essentially. And it's definitely easier said than done. But I think the important part is to take the lesson of the entire thing and apply it to our lives that as we could see fit. Like the whole part of Naruto basically having nobody at the start except for one person. He had one person that believed in him and changed his entire point of view into, like, believing in himself further. Like, he already did kind of believe in himself, but with that one person being there, it, like, shot him forward and helped him to, like, just keep trying, just keep going. A lot of people underestimated him or completely dismissed him as a whole in the village before that point, and even after that point. And I think many of us can probably take that to some degree in relation to our lives. I'm not going to say that's for everyone. I've definitely had a lot of points in my life where people underestimate me or dismiss me entirely or treat me as though, like, I'm weaker than, or I'm not good enough, or, like, I'll just never make it. I'll never do anything successful. People who give up on me before they even really gave me a chance, essentially. And again, within that on the story is the whole thing of having the one person that, like, believes in you. I think I did have at least one person who believed in me throughout everything, all the points in my life, and that definitely helped a lot. But even if you don't have that person, like, right now, or you don't believe that you will have that person anytime soon, I still think that you could change your life or start working towards doing better in your life even without that person there yet present. Another thing that's interesting in Naruto's story is they introduce a character named Gaara, and Gaara essentially had a really similar path as Naruto. They both have these demons inside of them, but Gaara was kind of made as this instrument to be, like, also a savior of the village, but also in another way kind of a killer. And the biggest separation between Naruto and Gaara, even though they have pretty similar things like to relate on, is that Naruto had one person who came into his life when he really needed it. When Gaara really, really needed a person to be there, nobody showed up for him. In fact, someone betrayed him who he trusted, which led him into kind of this awful, like, crisis of self, I guess, but also it gets a little murdery. It's an anime, you know how it goes. Gaara basically goes fully off the deep end from that point. And when Naruto and Gaara meet, Naruto kind of starts to realize how close he was also to the deep end and like falling into that pit of despair in a sense. And yeah, he just looks at that and sees how much he relates in just that one thing. But the thing about Gaara is when Gaara and Naruto become friends, Gaara then meets his person, right? And that is his one person that changed his outlook, that helped him believe in himself. I think that like just kind of speaks volumes to like it's never ever too late for anyone. It's such a huge thing because nobody can really control the cards that are dealt to us in life, and we all kind of have different starting points. We all have different points that change us, that hurt us and harm us, things that inspire us and help us grow. And some of us don't have a lot of that light and happiness from the get-go. Sometimes there's a lot of darkness to be held within our past, and other people will have different, like, kinds of experiences that help them grow while we're left behind. And yeah, that can be really, really hard, and sometimes it leaves your heart to be cold and your faith to be really weak, because what point is there in hope when hope has never saved me before, sort of thing. Sitting in the darkness too long can sometimes poison us, it hurts us, it smothers us and sabotages us and takes away all our hopes and dreams when you sit there for far too long. And then like within Gaara we see that a lot. It sabotages him, it smothers him, he becomes the darkness within him. And Naruto, on the other hand, kind of learns to, like, love the darkness within him and starts to accept it and appreciate it. And, yeah, it's two sides of the coin, but neither side was really wrong for where they ended up during those, like, at those same set moment in time sort of thing. My point being in all of that part is sometimes the help does come a little bit too late, but it really isn't too late for you even if it's past that point. And what I want to say to you, if you've come to this video in this moment, the important message for you right now is it's not too late for you to succeed. It's not too late for good things to happen to you in life. It's not too late for you to facilitate hope in your life again. It's not too late for you to trust in people that are similar to you. It's not too late for you if you're feeling lonely right now. It's not too late to bring life into your hopes and dreams again. It's not too late to try something new if things haven't been working out this entire time. It's not too late to believe in yourself. Naruto may be a made-up character, but he's definitely inspired within me a lot to not give up the fight when things seem really bad, or it seems like nobody cares or nobody believes about you or about your ability to succeed. I know it's easier to say than do, to like make hard work and willpower kind of work for you essentially, and it's hard to believe that like hard work can really lead you to the path that you're looking to be on. Like sometimes it feels like all odds are against you. Sometimes the worst of the world is like after you and trying to stop you from succeeding. Either it is that or it feels like that. Either one is completely valid. However, I'm not going to collapse at the hands of people lesser than me, and let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean is I am not going to falter myself to people who are too afraid of their own greatness. Because a lot of times what I see in real life is also things that I can see represented in similarly to anime, like Naruto. A lot of the people that, like, solely tell us how much we can't do things or how we're not capable of things are also people who never believed in themselves, or there are parts of themselves that they don't believe in. So us living in our confidence and our assurance to ourselves that we are going to do whatever thing, like if those people are saying that they're not doing something to that effect or something greater, and they, like, look down on you in a sense, it's sort of that thing of, like, it, like, triggers something within them. Like, if I can't do it, they sure as hell can't do it, sort of vibe. But I feel like people like that kind of live in that insecurity, and then it's always pushing it off on you because something you do triggers them, like, their insecurity. So I will not falter to people who are afraid of their own greatness, too. When I feel the weights of all of my burdens and my pains on my back while I'm walking forward towards my path, I'm not going to stop walking forward. I'm going to drop the weights because it'll be a lighter load getting to where I need to go. I'm not going to let the voices of my past become the echoes of my future. Why am I not going to let any of that stop me? Because I'm a badass, and you're a badass too. Like, truly, you too, bitch. You gotta stop holding yourself back, and I gotta stop holding myself back. Like, we're done with that energy. It's not happening. Not 2025 for the rest of the year, and not 2026, and not even after that. We're gonna keep going, and we're gonna keep being amazing. You need to be too loud. You need to be too much. You need to be too whatever of what people don't like. We're manifesting the idea that when people talk shit about us, it's bringing blessings our way. Okay, like, every time my name is on your lips, it brings me rewards and me great promises of success. So when others are talking about you or they think you're too cringe, believe in yourself anyways, because they are bringing success to you by talking mad shit. Please be outspoken about your assured victory to your life, whatever that's gonna look like for you, to your successes, to your hopes and dreams. They're not just hopes and dreams, they are going to become where you're at, whether it takes a year, 2 years, whatever. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take, because you're actively going to be taking the steps to get to that point. And no one in the world can take that from you, except for you. So do not take that from yourself, because you will be giving in to all the hate, all of the underestimations about you. Like, do not let that shit win a role in your life. Do not let it have any control over you. Don't let your fears hold you back, especially if it's a good fear. If it's a good fear, run headfirst into that shit. Run, jump, I don't care what it is, just take the risk for it. Because if it's a good fear, it's an important fear. And that's the fear that will lead to your success. You are that bitch. You just forgot. But don't let them forget who the fuck you are.